I am a trainer here at Emerald Downs. I train racehorses, and I work with my assistant trainer as far as what we do every day. Every day is different.
Recently we've been starting at 7 o'clock and breaks usually around 9:30 to 10. And depends on how many I got to go that day, if we had workers the day before, or just depends on how the horse is going. So usually it's from about 7 o'clock to 12.
I'm here at 5, 6 in the morning most mornings. And if we're racing at night, sometimes I won't go home till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
We start 2 hours prior to the track opening and feed everybody in the barn breakfast. And then about an hour before the track opens, we tie them all to the wall so the trainer has a chance to go over them.
Well, it all depends. Like every barn you work for, every trainer is different. They all got different routines. But like my instance, we get up here, we usually start pretty bright and early. For us, it's early, you know, like 5 in the morning. We get out here, we do their morning breakfast. So we go out here and give them breakfast. And after they get done eating, what I like to do is I like to put the horses out on the walking wheel, the walker. So it kind of gives us an idea how the horse is doing that morning. You know, it gives us, maybe they're, how do I say, a little too excited. You know, they can get some of the excitement out and stuff like that. And it also gives us the opportunity to clean their stalls.
You know, everybody together, it's a whole teamwork effort. You know, you got a groom, your trainer, your exercise rider, you know, everybody counts.
Some grooms, they take care of, let's say, these 4. So they dedicate their time to these 4. They take, you know, they grab the tack up these 4. Once their 4 are done, then they can start hopping into the next process, which is sometimes they like to do ice boots. You know, it's like an ice bath for an athlete, stuff like that. We call and stuff, and all that stuff. Then you pick their legs, their feet, brush them off, groom them. I think of them as a person. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't want to wake up every day at 3:30 in the morning or get woken up at 3:30 in the morning, you know.
I feed horses 2 types of hay, a Timothy hay and an alfalfa hay, and they're both a little different. Alfalfa's got a lot more calcium and is a little more nutrient dense than the Timothy hay. The Timothy hay is more of kind of something for them to be able to graze on. A horse is a natural grazing animal, and so being in their stall, you're trying to do a lot of things to help them pass the time as well.
We feed them mixed in the morning of race ready and 400 with a little bit of cob for half of a 3-pound coffee can.
It's got a whole bunch of like vitamins and supplements in it. It's worth quite a bit too. What I learned, like being a trainer, it's only my 2nd year, but every horse is different, you know. And sometimes they don't like the routine that you train them, you know, like, oh, they don't like to gallop, they rather jog. And by jog, like, you know, just a normal trot instead of like galloping around like fast every day.
You know, some horses like to jog. It just depends on the horse and how they're acting. They'll kind of tell you by, you know, if they're feeling good or playing a little bit, you know, and or if they're quiet, you know, and then you back them down to a jog or something so they're a lot quiet. You know, make them happy. That's the main thing, is keeping them happy.
The biggest challenge is it's like any coach, you know, you hope your players stay healthy, they don't get injured, and they stay at a peak where they, you know, at their top of their game. You know, that's probably one of the bigger challenges.
And that's a big part of it. You got to have the physical tools on board to be able to do things, but you also have to have the mental, and the horse does too. Because if a horse is not really into it or doesn't really want to try, it doesn't matter how great their physicalness is. And so getting in this part of a horse is very important.
There's sometimes you come over to the barn and you show up and their heads are down, you know, you can tell they're tired, so might as, you know, it's like us people, sometimes we got that day off, we want a day off, so I go and give them a day off, you know. And the whole purpose for what we call a racetrack goat is for like a horse to have a friend, a buddy. So it's like a horse that's too nervous or, you know, anxious and stuff like that, you know, having a buddy, you know, like moral support basically, like, you know, you got your little friend you can rely on. So you get so bonded to the horse, you get so close to them that you learn their little details. You know when a horse is off or like a sick or something like that. They showed little different details. You know, every horse is different, so it's kind of neat of like you learn that from each horse.
There's always danger. You can walk out your front door and there's danger every day. But the riders and the gallop people and the people that are actually on the horseback It's, these horses are going in the neighborhood of full speed, 25 to 35 miles an hour, and so, you're not going to, if you open the car door and fall off going that speed, there's a good chance injuries will happen, whether they're human or horse. And even on the ground handling horses, there can be danger. Horses can do things from kicking to biting to rearing, and so you have to have quite a bit of horsemanship to be around them and keep them on all fours.
I grew up around horses, and I think I was born with a whip in my hand. And I started riding racehorses when I was 6 and 7 years old with my dad at the little bush meets where you just match race somebody else's horse in Enumclaw.
Last year was my first year here, period, in the state and at the track. And besides, people welcome me, unbelievable. The horses that I got a chance to interact with, I'm so grateful. The opportunities, the owners, the trainers, I can mention many names, but I think everybody that I'm talking about, they know who I'm talking about.
We get up in the morning and gallop until the track closes, or if depends on how busy your morning is. Go home and take a little nap maybe, depending on when the races start. Here they start later, so usually take a little nap and then come back and get ready. Every day's an adventure. They're animals, so you don't know what's going to happen, and you got 8 or 6 or 10 of them out there, and you got to figure out what everybody else is doing. So it's just you're kind of looking around who's next to you, and you kind of are getting your strategy then, because you know what riders, how they ride, and so you got to counteract what they do or not get in a mess.
Can be maybe only one time the trainer asks you to get on the horse, either to exercise them or work them. It's two different things, right? Exercising is jogging them, galloping slow, and working, they go full speed, depends of this. They told you about a time they want to work, It's a pre-race, so preparation for the race. And sometimes none. You just go straight, you just make the compromise. I have an agent that represents me, so he talks to the owners, talks to the trainers, they get together and they put me on the horses. So in a day, depends of the car, if we have 10 races, I can ride the 10 races, and I can ride different horses that I've been working alone. The body is like, our bodies are like a sponge, because we are so much on the way, dehydrate, and whatever we eat gotta be the best you can give it to your body, because you cannot give it that much. So every chance the body has to, accumulate it, it's like a nature surviving. It's gonna take it, and no wanna let it go, So yes, it's quite of a routine.
We actually train the part of where we're exercising the horses for 4.5 hours every single day. As we get closer to starting day at the races, we won't train every horse every day. Once they actually start working, which is when we go really fast out there to get them fit and running, then the horses get more days off. But right now, all of the horses I have in my barn have not been running. They came from a rest, or they're brand new 2-year-old baby. We call them babies here at the racetrack.
Not all the horses are always physically or mentally capable when they're that young to handle racing. A lot of them do make it, but the schooling a young horse gets, even when they're 2, even if they don't make the races, it prepares them for the next year and so forth.
So they're learning every day, and then the older horses that are coming back are getting fit, just like a regular human athlete would get fit.
They're learning as you're learning, so it's like you're teaching each other. So, and the older horses, you'll go through good days and bad days, that's for sure.
A lot of the horses that are here right now for early training have been at a farm somewhere, either Eastern Washington or here. And that goes with the younger horses too. So we call it breaking horses. When the when the young horses go in to learn how to be ridden. We do that in the fall of their 2-year-old year. A lot of the trainers here at Emerald Downs will go other places. I stay home because I live here and I don't travel, but a lot of my horses go to different places, to different trainers.
I pick a trainer that cares about their horses, and I need a trainer that wants to be with the horse every day. I don't want a trainer that's here in town for a week, gone a week at another racetrack, and then comes back. My trainers are here every day. I can work with them every day. They're looking at each horse every day. We care about our horses. We care about what happens to them after their racing career is over. So those are important traits to me. I'm not just here for the wins. It's quality over quantity for me as far as that goes. And if a horse is not right, he goes home and gets turned out. You know, he's not going to get raced just to get a paycheck. It's just not the way it works.
You'll see white horses, but they're not really white, they're gray. Like this filly right here, she'll grow up and be a whole bunch whiter. As they get older, they get whiter, but he was born white.
There's only, did you say a number?
Nine. Nine in
white
the world,
horses.
9 registered white horses. The other night, this horse was colicking. This horse woke up the groom. He was having an absolute conniption fit, rearing and screaming, and so she's coming out to look what's going on, and this horse is in a
Colicking is
colic.
severe intestinal
And
problem. They can die from it.
This horse doesn't do things like that, right? I mean, he's not that naughty. In the middle of the night, he is screaming and
Isn't that
hollering.
something?
And what does that tell you? They're so smart.
Yeah.
I just was so impressed with that.
This is the first time that I'm gonna race. I'm looking forward to race a white horse. And it's one on the grounds. He never won a race. He only run one time before last year. Looking forward to win some races with him.
I'm the person here that really just kind of hangs out and watches everybody else do this great work. I also previously worked for the Muckleshoot Tribe, who own Emerald Downs. I work for them at the casino. They support us and we appreciate everything they do for us as well. You know, we wouldn't be here today without the Muckleshoot Tribe. It has donated money to Persis since, I believe, 2004 when they bought the land. And then when they took over operations in 2015, they spent quite a bit improving the facility. We have a 1,100 square foot big screen for fans to see. It's been terrific, and they continue to support Persis and support the industry. And I don't know that we would be here today without them.
And they've also helped out here in the stable area quite a bit. They've made incentives on feed and bedding for the stalls and even some insurance too. So they've been a real benevolent donor for us.
Large, robust, and fast, Prodigious raced up and down the coast from 1999 to 2007. He ran twice in the Longacres Mile and had many great days on the track.
Yeah, the Prodigious Fund was created quite a number of years ago. Prodigious was a high-class racehorse that raced here and up and down the coast.
Prodigious says, see you later, alligator. Prodigious 2 in front of Weepinville, Jump Run 1 Bold Mango. And now from the back on the inside, yes, but it's a big win to Prodigious.
His racing career ended, and he ended up in kind of a spotty situation where he was injured and nobody was taking good care of him. And so he was rescued, and then we named a fund after that, back about 2008 or 9.
He's currently residing at my farm, Oakcrest Farm, out in Enumclaw. He's 26 years old, and rehabilitated him. And through the course of doing that, we determined that it would be a good idea to maybe start a fund.
And owners contribute to that. Every time they start a horse, you can contribute as much money as you want. And that has gone to help a lot of horses that need maybe surgery or transportation or a new home. And there's therapeutic horses. That's really become very significant the last 10 years in getting soldiers out of war or soldiers out of the military that might even have PTSD. The nonverbal communication seems to really work well man and horse or woman and horse, and kid and horse too. There's a lot of situations where kids with learning disabilities would bond with a horse, and so there's a couple of farms in Spokane right now that do that.
It's just not us here that are employed. You know, this is a big farm agricultural business.
A lot of people in this state don't even know about this place.
Trying to get young people outside, you know, away from some of the screens and some time to come out and enjoy some of it, enjoy the animals.
I'll just say a day at Emerald Downs, we put on a good show. It's a family place. The horses are really well cared for, and you can't win unless your horse is healthy and feeling good. You know, you just can't win the race. So there's no reason to run a horse that isn't optimum health level, and let the races begin.
Make it up. Make it up. You know, I would pamper them and everything, try to get them, you know, and they'll let you know when they're in a bad mood, you know, they'll let you know pretty quick. When they pin their ears, you can tell they're a little pissy. They try to kick at you, bite you. Good. Today, opening day, we've been doing this for a while, so it ain't nothing new, but you still get that nervous feeling, you know, like just hoping everything goes good. And I got high hopes for this guy ever since he was a little baby. Hopefully he can prove me right today, you know. How you feeling? Feeling ready? You just want to play, huh? Just hoping we can start off with the win, you know. It'd be really great.
The people that have no idea, they think that we know these horses all alone, and no, you're right. You are the first one to ask me that question from many interviews that I have. Sometimes the race day, the horse has never seen us, and we never see the horse either, you know. So what I try to do is go in the stall, talk to him, you know, like we talking right now. They are very intelligent animals, very knowledgeable. So I try to let them smell me, you know, and once they feel comfortable, you can do with them whatever you want. But if they are scared, so imagine that the response cannot be that nice, you know. A lot of people ask us, you know, like, well, it's very dangerous, right? You know, and yes, it is. It's one of the dangerous sports in the game. But we still go out there not thinking about it, you know, because you think about the risks and all that, you don't function the same, you know. Well, that's how I was taught. I have a friend that he actually passed away, and he used to tell me, a winner is like an adrenaline shot into your vein, you know. So it's really exciting. It doesn't last that long, you know. And as soon as you pass the wire, you realize that you just won, you know, sometimes by very little, or, you know, sometimes by many links, doesn't matter.
Saturday, we have a fast track, as you heard from Tom.
It's neat to see everybody dress up, and this year, I think it's one of the best days.
Race 1 coming right up.
Sometimes these places just packed, you know, for the big races.
So his sister Carol and I both put in $1. They started out in that horse who led all the way around and about there, and you stopped.
And she jumped up on one of the tables.
But during the
and
leading,
started flapping her arms like.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember back
if
in,
I wasn't $50, my God, our rent was $60.
Yeah, back in minimum wage was $1 an hour.
Yeah.
You know, so if you won $150, you know.
And the horses have reached the starting gate. Runners away in 24. Above the rest. Wastes no time and darts right out to the front. Chased away by Cash's Cat to the outside. Vinny Buckets racing on third. Alongside the favorite, Anniversaire d'Or is only 4 off the beat. And Above the Rest has led it from gates opening with Cash's Cat to the outside. Closing in, though, with a shake of the reins from Carlos Montalvo is Anniversaire d'Or, who looms large from the outside a quarter mile away. They run to the top of the stretch. Anniversaire d'Or puts ahead in front as they turn for home. It's Anniversaire d'Or striding away by a length and a half. Above the Rest is chasing and Cash's Cat. Deep stretch, though. Anniversaire d'Or is galloping home. A winner by 3-4, naked 5 going away. Above the Rest was second, Cash's Cat to Benny Buckets and Street Minister.
I guess that's why they call it gambling.
Well, you guys don't need me today, do you? So like, I can help in that.
I mean, it's a job, so we have all kinds of. I'll get somebody to get you in.
Perfect, thank you.
But help yourself to the tea and coffee.
I'm hoping Andrew's okay with this. Have fun.
Do you know when the last time this has been washed?
It doesn't stink.
Cute.
There's some body part. You already got one tail. Other boots.
I don't know.
Oh my God! I can't believe you're doing this. It's great.
Harley there got on the equicizer. Yeah, you got to shorten your leg.
Right here?
Yeah. Look at that.
There you go. Don't fall off.
Try not to. Is it going on?
Wave it, Roland.
Good to see you, Ed. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Ed. It's an Oregon bred forward. Still alive.